Hello everybody. This is a weekly review of site safety visits for the week of 22 April. Uh, we must remember one thing. Quality in whatever we do is a continuous process. As safety concerns, it requires a continuous involvement and processes. As I visited jobs this week, I noticed some trending safety concerns. Now, I know we have a lot of work on our plates and that we can sometimes feel overwhelmed. We must maintain constant diligence in the protection of the health and welfare of our team members. Be sure to take those few moments at the beginning of each day and review what task we're faced with and what the hazards are associated with that task and how we mitigate those hazards. Utilize the most valuable tool in your arsenal, the PTP. Some of the concerns this past week were respiratory protection. Respiratory protection is required in two major areas in our industry. The first one I'd like to cover is for burners, people who are burning metal, torch cutters. We burn all kinds of metal from chrome, stainless, to iron that's painted, could be painted with lead paint. Any of these things that could be burned, we're burning. And those different types of metals each produce various types of gases that we have to limit exposure to of our men, our people. So respiratory protection under the EH&S handbook is required. Also, as part of that requirement is that our people be respiratory physical. It means they are physically able to wear that respirator that they'll be wearing in the field. And they have to have their blood lead, ZZP and ZZP checked to ensure that they're not being overexposed to lead from the paint or anything else. And then the next one, which we're moving into more and more under the new silica standard, is respiratory protection to use against the silica dust exposure. Some of the same requirements exist. We've got to make sure that our employees are physically capable of wearing that respirator. Also along the lines, respirators must be kept in a clean and sanitary condition. Ensure that the team members understand the importance of properly storing the respirators and when not in use. Respirators should not be left in dusty, dirty environments when not in use. I see a lot of guys, they store them in a 5-gallon plastic bag, or they put them in a little ditty bag that was issued to them by the company. The thing is, we have to keep them clean and in sanitary condition. The reason I say that, I walked a couple jobs this week and I looked over and they're doing interior demolition. I looked over and somebody's half-face respirator is hanging on a screw on a metal drywall stud. And another one was laying on a desktop while they were at break. All this dust was still settling, and it was settling onto and into their respirators. Energized electrical breaker boxes, outlet boxes, and switch boxes are to be covered by their appropriate covers and secured. If we're doing sheetrock, if we're doing an interior demolition and removing the sheetrock and the power outlets are remaining and the cover gets broken and the outlet is exposed, the box is exposed, the potential for something going into that box and making contact with a live circuit is there. And that's what we have to protect against. The same way with the breaker boxes. They have to be closed and locked, not with a lock, but make sure they're secure and can't come open. They have to have all the covers on the switch box, the breaker box. They have to have that cover over the breakers, and the door needs to be closed. All right, eye protection. I had one guy who had on his prescription glasses. They were not Z87. He did not have any side shields, which drew me to him. And you got to have the high impact polycarbonate plastic with the designation of Z87 imprinted on the safety glass to verify and indicate that it is the appropriate design. That's Z87, which is an ANSI standard referenced by OSHA for eye protection. Silica. Whenever there's the potential for silica dust exposure, there must be a ECP or an exposure control plan. Some of the items that would require an ECP might be sheetrock demolition or concrete cutting, sawing, breaking, etc. If you're not sure on how to fill out an ECP, get with your supervisor, get with your safety professional, get with me, and we'll get together and develop and show you how to fill out the ECP based on the OSHA standard for silica. Next, investment in tools. You know, we all seen the story. You can be at the flea market and go through the aisles, and there's some guy who's got boxes and boxes of stuff, and in that you can buy a complete wrench set for $5. Okay? Versus having to go to a reputable dealer with sell high quality tools. That same set may cost you $50. Okay, but here's the question. If we shop price over quality, are we sacrificing safety? Is that $5 half-inch wrench going to break or bend or slip, causing an injury to the employee's hand and knuckles, or break and create a flying debris or a flying item which could injure someone, versus spending the money on a quality tool? Same way I've seen with GFCIs. A $1, $2 GFCI, I don't know what it was, but does it have the proper amperage for the tool that we'll be using for the draw? Well, this thing keeps kicking. Well, you got a 5 amp or 10 amp and you're running a 20 amp tool. So, and then another one was you're using a 1 ton come along to do 5 tons worth of work. Are we doing the right thing? When we price our tools, are we pricing quality, or are we just pricing price? And by pricing, shopping price, are we sacrificing the safety of our team members? Toolbox safety meetings. The EH&S requires a separate, documented toolbox meeting to be done on a weekly basis. This toolbox topic meeting, this documented, shows that our company is training our guys on a regular basis on items that they may come in contact with on their jobs. It's a document that shows that we're constantly training our people. These toolbox topic safety meetings are important. They are required. Take a look around your job site. Do you see any of these shortcomings or recognize any other shortcoming that needs to be taken care of? Don't just look at it and say, I need to. Take a look at it and do it. Fix it immediately. And if you do see one, use it as an opportunity to train your people on how to recognize a hazard, why it's a hazard, and how to mitigate it, how to fix it. Get them to buy into it and be a part of the process. Final thoughts. We, or you as a leader, creates the climate of safety first. Your teammates are the most valuable asset. Include and involve them in every aspect of the project, from the planning to the performance. Now, Paperwork does not save lives. What did I just say? I'm the guy who always wants to see the paperwork. I say again, paperwork does not save lives. However, proper planning does. The PTP ensures the 5 Ps. That's proper planning prevents poor performance and saves lives by going into detail of what the task is, the hazards associated with the task, and how to mitigate those recognized hazards. I recently heard a story from a leading safety professional, and it goes something like this. Hospitals have surgeons, and hospitals are concerned about safety as well. So they develop these checklists, pre-surgical checklists that doctors go through before each surgery. So they have a pre-surgical meeting with all the staff members who's going to be involved with surgery, the anesthesiologist, the nurses, and the doctor, and they go down these checklists. Well, a lot of doctors didn't like the checklist. Said it took too much time and inhibited them from doing certain things, and it was cumbersome, so on and so forth. They didn't like them until the doctor or the doctor's loved one had to go under the scalpel, and then all of a sudden, the list became very important. Consider the PTP as the pre-surgical checklist on your job. This concludes the safety audit review for this past week. Guys, take care of yourself, take care of your buddy, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the field.